is to go up to the File menu and find Recents, and then it should pull up the one that you've most recently worked on. Now, if you're playing with a couple of different projects, you may have to actually specifically look for the name, but that'll save you a little time going to your folder to pull it up. Okay? So that is the last step that we worked on. And so what we want to do is we want to send this over to Unity and then actually get a chance to see it. And we can apply, a box collider to it and play with gravity and all of that good stuff. So in Unity, if you haven't already created a project, it's File and New Project, and then you want to give it a name. You can call it, I labeled mine 3D Experimentation. It's just a little demo project where we can dump Maya files into it and see whether we like it or not, and just kind of test it without applying it directly to a game we're really truly working on. Make sure that it chooses 3D. By default, Unity is a 3D game development environment, even though we did 2D in the previous course. You do not need to do anything with enabling Unity Analytics. Make sure that this is going to your network folder. So these three dots here give you the ability to go and save it to a new location. And you can actually make a new folder here by clicking on New Folder, and then you just select that new folder you just made. So please make sure that you put it on a network drive here at the school and not just on your desktop, so that you don't lose everything if something were to happen to that computer. So over in Unity now, we should have a scene available. So I'm just going to delete out what I do have here, and I have an empty scene. Compared to the 2D world, this is going to look quite a bit different, and that is because we are in a three-dimensional world. So if you hold down the Alt key in Unity, you can move around and really see the horizon all around you. Okay, and you'll also see the location of the sun, which we can actually move up and down if we wanted to. Again, to move up and down, it's just holding down the Alt key on the keyboard and the left mouse button. That will allow us to change our perspective in relation to the ground. If we hold down the Alt key and the right mouse button, which allows us to zoom in and out, so very similar to Maya. If we hold down Alt and the middle mouse button, the scroll button, it allows us to more or less just kind of pick up and move things. So those are the options we have in order to rotate around things or move within this world. Some questions were asked about what happens if you don't have a sun or directional light. If you go up to the Create menu and drop down to Light, Directional Light, you will have the equivalency of a sun. Now, there are other lights we're going to play with. You can have point lights, a spotlight shining, specifically at something that's going to be really important if you want to have a street lamp, where it's not the sun, but it's specifically shining from one source or multiple sources. There are a lot of different lights that we can add into the 3D world. Okay, but again, this lesson is not focusing on the sun. I just wanted to point it out to you. So, switch back over to Maya, and with your graphics selected, we are going to go up to the File menu, File, Send to Unity. And you can see in the File Send to Unity menu, we have a submenu, we have some options. You can send everything in there, everything in your perspective. So if you're working on multiple objects at the same time, you can send them all. In most cases, I would recommend probably working on one item at a time, just so your graphic doesn't get so complex. It consumes all of your computer's memory. And you know what happens if a computer runs out of memory, things freeze, or blue screens of death from Windows, or so on. So I'm going to say select all, just to make sure that there's not a part of this graphic that I didn't select. And then it's going to say, okay, fine, navigate for me to your Unity Projects Assets folder. So if we now go up here to the My Computer, for most of you it's going to be on your student drive, so Data Z, and then navigate to your Unity project, and then get inside the Assets folder. Okay? So I'll do that again. File, Send to Unity All, navigate to your Assets folder for this project. It's going to be in a different location than yours because I don't have a student folder. So where have I hidden mine? In Unity, it's going to probably need to see a scene file. So let's just really quickly go up to the File, in Unity and say save scene as, and I'll just call this scene 1. Again, this is an experimental project where we can just kind of test new ideas. It's not a final project. Create and save your scene. And now go back into Maya and file, save scene as. Go to your assets folder. So down here we need to give the file a name. So I'm just going to save this as Coinbox because that's what mine is. And I'm just saving it. Some students have said if you just select the project folder, it works better. I've always selected the assets folder and it's worked fine. So do what works for you. And press export all. It'll take a second. And now if we switch back over to Unity, you will eventually see it pop up inside your assets folder. So when we bring it into Unity, again, from Maya, when you say File, Send to Unity All, it's going to ask you for the name of the Unity project. Once you identify the project folder, then it's going to pop up another box that says which subfolder in your Unity project you want to save it, and then it's going to ask you for the name of the file that you want to call it in Unity. So next what we want to do is take our object as it's brought in from Unity, and you'll see it down here in the assets folder, and it's going to bring in, it'll say pcube1, that's actually the Maya structure for your project, and then you've got Coinbox avatar, which is supposed to hold the texture with it, and we'll show you how to fix that if yours is not showing up. But first, let's drag and drop the cube, your shape, into your scene. And I've had a few of you say, well, I can't see anything. Well, distance is relative here. We have to actually get close to the object. We don't know how far you're zoomed out from your shape. That helps when you have a terrain in there, but zoom in to where you can at least see the box. That is a starting point. A very easy way to zoom into your exact shape is to select the shape, go to the Edit menu, and we're looking for, let's see, it is Lock View to Selected. Lock View to Selected, which means it's going to go straight to that object and allow you to zoom in to it. With the shape selected, let's go over here to the right side of the screen, and we should see a spot that says Shader. Shader is referring to the actual texture in Unity. It could just be a solid color, or it could be artwork that we have brought in, which we're referring to as a texture. So what we want to do is click on the Select button inside this little square, and it's going to ask you to go to the location where your grid layout, your final grid layout JPEG is located. And it's because Maya did not send that texture over to Unity. It just sent the shape over. So you press the select button, it'll bring a box up here, and if you've got the picture in your assets folder, it's going to be something that you can actually drag and drop. If you don't have it in there, what I would suggest you doing is canceling here, that box, the select texture box, and going up to File. Let's see, what's the best option here? You can either drag and drop it in this folder, or you can right click in the assets box down here and say Import New Asset. Import new asset, and now navigate to wherever you have the JPEG or the PNG image file that we exported from Adobe Illustrator, or it could have been Photoshop. Bring it in, and now if you select the cube and say select, that grid layout picture should be in the list. You select it, and it will apply your texture to your cube.